So Joy, and your smile, just your name is perfect for you. I love it. I love it.
Thank
So
you.
tell me a little bit about what you do. You seem like you have an amazing career.
Thank you so much. So I'm Joy Altimare, and I'm the Chief Engagement and Brand Officer at EHE Health. We are a preventive company. We've been around for 107 years.
Oh,
And
wow.
I know we're very old. And we focus on what's called total population health for employers. So we work with large employers who are self-insured, and we help keep their population healthy. And specifically, I am essentially chief marketing and chief digital product officer. So I'm really focused on how we engage them in their health, how we keep them tuned in, so to speak, on the important things about longevity, health, productivity. I have the most fun job because I'm basically dealing with human beings before they have the clinical intervention, before they actually have to see the doctor. And then I'm thinking about after they see the doctor, how do they continue on a positive path, one that allows them to have the best care, the best plan for continuing their lives in a healthy manner. So I have the most fun job.
That's incredible. Did you go to medical school for that, or how
No,
did you
I'm not
do
a
it?
physician, right? I'm not clinical. I do have a degree in biology, but no one knows that, and I never talk about it because I spent my whole career in marketing and advertising. I'm what they call the person who really likes to study human behavior. How do we engage people? How do we? I mean, before I came to healthcare, I worked in consumer lifestyle. So I worked for L'Oreal, and I worked on brands like Grey Goose, basically trying to figure out how to get people, entice them, use emotional tools to get them to do something or react in a way that we wanted them to do that. And through a course of a lot of different things personally with my family being, my father had a stroke, and it really opened my eyes to the fact that healthcare is probably the last category in the whole world that doesn't really think about how to truly engage human beings in something that's the most important, which is their health. And so I kind of, as my mom said, I use my skills for good now. And I really focus on making sure we're creating a system, or what we call a user journey, a journey in which people can actively lean into their health, understand the importance of getting that preventive exam early, and then staying on top of it, making sure they're going to those visits, even from a mental perspective, making sure they're engaging in their mental health, behavioral health, talking to experts, really exercising their mental health muscles so that they can stay strong and productive and live a long, healthy life.
And what would you say was the biggest challenge about your career,
I
especially
think,
now?
especially now, I mean, COVID, obviously, that's the huge elephant in the room that we're not talking about right now. But COVID has been a huge challenge, I think, because especially for healthcare in general, but specifically for our company, because we do see patients. We have 7 owned and operated clinics, and we work with 150 integrated partners across the country. And so for me, as a person who's just focused on how do you engage people, probably one of the biggest challenges right now, or has been this year, was really looking at new and different ways to engage them. We as a company had always, I think we've been successful because we've always thought about things outside of your typical healthcare communication. We don't just rely on direct mail. We do email, we do digital, we do a lot of different things that are very similar to the consumer world. Even our events, we used to do them all in person. Now we do amazing Facebook Live and virtual events. So I think even though thinking of ways to engage, or the way that we engaged before COVID, changed a lot of things, it actually made us more creative, more innovative. We reach more people, so we're more effective.
And tell me a little bit about, I know we said COVID was the biggest elephant in the room, but tell me
Right.
a little bit more about how we could handle it and do better, especially with the mental health issue behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, you've heard this saying when we used to fly all the time. The flight attendants would say, put your mask on before you hand it to someone else. And I think that's the first place to start. Most of us are staying at home with our families. We're working from home. It's a very different normal. Our new normal requires us really to integrate our life in a way that we've never had to before. And that can add to unnecessary, not unnecessary, but it can add stress to you unnecessarily, meaning you feel tired because you're mentally exhausted because you are living in these two worlds the whole time at level 10, not level 7 or level 8. Especially, I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I am at home, I'm cooking the meals, I'm also doing the work. So I always say, practice, first of all, taking care of yourself. Ask yourself, what am I doing for myself today? How am I being present for myself today? To carve out moments in the day for yourself so that you can actually decompress. I personally, in the mornings, I get up before my entire house wakes up, and I have a moment for myself to meditate, to set my intention for the day, and to ask myself, what do I want to get out of the day? And then as I go throughout the day, I'm constantly gut checking and saying, do I mentally feel like I'm prepared to do this? Is this something that I intentionally want to do? And then at the end of the day, when I have everyone asleep and everyone, off to their quarters, so to speak, I also then sit down and I take a pause for myself. And I just basically regroup with myself. I think putting yourself first, making sure that you're whole, making sure that you have done everything for yourself, which we are taught not to think of ourselves first. But when you're thinking about this pandemic, you definitely have to make sure that you're whole and that you yourself feel good before you can take care of anyone else.
True. I mean, we were all raised, especially as women, take care of everybody else
Yes.
and then yourself. But
Yes.
you're right. You're absolutely right. We need to take care of ourselves as well, because otherwise we drain out that energy.
And you have nothing to give anyone. If you're tired, if you're exhausted, just think about it. If you're not eating well and you have zero energy, how can you mentally be there for anybody that you love? How can you also do your job that you get paid for to pay for the people that you love? So you have to take care of yourself. You have to make sure that you are not just taking care of the physical piece, but mentally, especially right now, that you're taking moments out to be present, to meditate, to center yourself, and always ask yourself, what's my intention in this moment? Am I living in that intention?
Nice. And what are some warning signs to look out for, especially with everyone, going, I don't want to say mentally breaking, but not where they usually are?
Yeah, I think, before COVID, we always saw people, we always thought we knew what anxiety, depression, chronic stress looked like. And I think right now, because again, the worlds are blurring together, it's a little bit harder to detect if someone or you yourself are going through issues. So I would say the first thing you want to do is just make sure that notice if you're doing things differently. Notice if it's taking you longer to actually do something. It's one of the triggers that I have for myself. I feel like I'm working just as hard or even harder, but is it taking me, am I having trouble concentrating? Am I having trouble focusing? Is it taking me many more steps to get things done? That's a sign of chronic stress. And when you have chronic stress, you may not feel tired, but your body is telling you you're tired. And so you need to go back and you need to come up with some, what I called, again, recharging, taking time for yourself, but you want to also come up with kind of limitations. Have specific times in your day that you're going to do work, and then have a line of demarcation, so to speak, and then say, this is the time that I'm actually at home and I'm doing personal things. Those having yourself be mindful of the things that you're doing differently or things that are more of a challenge will definitely let you know that you're under stress. And then having an action plan, a step-by-step guide to kind of get you out of it. First, beginning with saying, I recognize it, I'm not going to deny it. And now let me have a time where I can say, this is when I do work, and this is when I don't do work. Those things will actually help pull you out of it so that you can continue to be productive. I also think that, there's so many things we feel, especially women, we feel guilt all the time for taking, like I said, time for yourself. Sometimes you do need to just go get a manicure or give yourself a manicure if you're at home. Watch TV that's not necessarily around the news or the election or even work. Sometimes you need to veg out like a teenager does, just so that you can physically give your body rest. You might need to, I hate to say this, but shut off your mind just a little bit, because we're constantly thinking and worried. We're making lists in our heads. We're thinking through every scenario. So you want to definitely maybe find a moment, maybe it's a Saturday or early Sunday morning where you can just shut off your mind for a couple of hours and then feel that restoration coming back into yourself. I also say organize yourself. Decluttering, you never know how much mental, physical stress you have in your life when you have everything around your house is a mess. If your closet's a mess, your desk is a mess, your kitchen's a mess, everything is a mess. So if you can just organize yourself, your environment can actually help you feel less stress as well.
And what about kids, try to get them to feel this way? How do we teach them that?
I'm so happy you asked me that because I have a 6-year-old and I think I was naive when, when COVID first began that I thought, oh, she's going to be fine. Kids are definitely very adaptable and they definitely can, they can have a positive energy around regardless of what the situation is. But now that we're hitting month 8 and month 9 and month 10, I think children are definitely feeling kind of the angst of how they used to socialize. And so what I suggest is kind of the same thing. We have mommy daughter time where we get up in the morning, especially on the weekends, and we do an activity. Maybe we bake cookies. Maybe we do a visual arts thing where we paint a picture. We go for long walks. And during each of these activities, I'm asking her questions to help give herself make sure she has the tools when she's older. I ask her questions like, how did you feel this week when you did XYZ? What was your best part of this week? Did you get to talk to your friends on Zoom after class? I ask her questions so she can start to understand how to look at the things that she did in her week or her day as positives. And if something was kind of not so fun or negative, I ask her, well, did you need to do that? Or did you want to do that? Was it something of focus? Again, trying to teach her ways and give her resources so that she can, for herself, start to say, okay, I don't really want to do that. It doesn't make me feel good. It's going to give me anxiety. I'm not going to do it. Our children are definitely learning new skills in which to deal with anxiety, and we want to be present for them. And so the best way I suggest doing that is talking to them, making sure the lines of communication are always open. Now, regardless of their age, you want to make sure they feel like they can come talk to you first. If they're feeling tense, feeling anxious, or they're feeling depressed, you should be their first point of reference and support.
That's incredible. And your daughter is so lucky to have you. I mean,
Thank
that's
you.
wonderful. What's her favorite mommy daughter activity to do?
Right now, I mean, this is probably because of the holidays. Every night she wants to have hot cocoa and marshmallows. And then she does this thing where she says, can I lay on your shoulder? It's very simple. It's a little thing. And at first I have to be honest, I was like, what is going on? What is this sentimental thing happening? But I realized, it's very indicative of the fact that human interaction is so important. And typically she would be getting at school with her friends. She'd be at recess. And so right now, all she wants is a warm cup of cocoa, 3 marshmallows, the big ones, not the small one, and just to lay on mommy's shoulder before we go to bed. And I think, that's a beautiful moment. And people keep telling me in 20 years, I'll be wanting that moment and she'll be away. So I'm just kind of soaking it up because that's all she wants right now. She doesn't ask for toys. She doesn't ask for, so many things that we thought that they would want, which are more, superficial. She just wants time. And I think if we stop and think, that's what we all want. We just want time with the people we love.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, like I said, you're a great mommy. And if she likes
Thanks.
the hot chocolate, they have those hot chocolate bombs now that I think she would like.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, I
I
haven't heard of those.
know.
I have to go find them.
Yeah, I think Amazon has them, and I know people that know how to make them. So I'll send it to Amy. I'll make sure you get the recipe that
Oh
I
yeah,
got.
actually I did see them where you get the chocolate mold and then you put the stuff
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
inside.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I saw it on Blossom. Yeah, I definitely, but I might buy them. So I'll look at
yeah.
them on
I
Amazon. Yeah,
because I would just make a huge mess, and I don't think I
yes,
would like that too much because then I have to clean it
yeah.
up and no.
No, I don't either.
Yeah. And one thing I love asking people that I interview is tell me a fun fact about yourself that might surprise people.
A fun fact. Well, I'm 43. So most people think I'm not, they think I'm a little younger, but I am 43. And most people don't know that I was a very competitive swimmer my whole life. I was always very tall. I'm 5'10" and a half, almost 5'11". I was very, very, very tall. And so I was a competitive swimmer most of my childhood from like 6 until 16. And the funniest thing is, I used to swim with the boys because I was really fast, and the boys were awful. They would like pull you underneath because they were just awful. They were awful,
Oh my
preteen
gosh.
boys, teenage boys. And so one time a boy, he thought he was going to pull me underneath. We were getting closer to the end of the lane and I could feel him like on my feet trying to pull me underneath. And I literally pulled my knees up so fast, he hit he hit the end of the lane and no one ever tried to do that again. I was just like, I cannot have them. It's so scary. It was like I think it's some part of hazing, and they probably don't even do it anymore. But at the time, I just realized like I do not want to have anybody pull me under anymore. So I got the reputation: do not pull Joy under anymore because you'll hit the wall.
You go, girl. I would have done the same thing. Gosh,
Yes.
you're a strong, strong woman. I love it. I love it.
Thank
And
you.
since we are at holiday time, what are some of your favorite holiday traditions?
Oh my gosh, we love them all. So we put up our tree right after Thanksgiving. The Friday after Thanksgiving is our favorite. You know, obviously, so we put the tree, we let it sit. This year we started a new tradition. We're making our stockings. I used to buy them when we had our names on them. This year, because she's older and 6, I thought it'd be great for us to make our stockings. So we're making our stockings, and then of course the elf on the shelf. I don't know if you have kids, but if you have kids, every parent knows about the elf on the shelf. And so Elf on the Shelf has become a tradition of ours for the last 3-4 years. And our elf is called Sparkle, and she gets in all sorts of trouble every night. And in the morning, we have to figure out, what does she do? Where is she? And find her. And then it's a really interesting, fun thing. It helps. I love it because it keeps every day like a holiday. You don't just think about it the 1st and the 25th. But we love it. It's really fun. And we get to kind of have a little dialogue, a fun dialogue around what adventure Sparkle could have gotten into.
That's so cute. It's so cute. I don't have kids. I'm an auntie to be, but
Awesome. Oh, congratulations.
thank you. I'm so excited. I already spent my Amazon cart is like full to the brim, and I already sent a whole bunch of stuff.
You're the
And
best aunt. I mean, as a mom, you're always like, oh, I need this. And then if this shows up, you're like, oh, thank gosh. Amazon. I don't
yes,
know what mothers did before Amazon.
I have no idea, but I'm gonna be buying a ton of stuff until the baby's born because that's the kind of
Yeah.
aunt I am. It's like,
Yeah.
you get
Good. Do
all
you
the
know what you're
things,
having? Do you know what, is it a niece or a nephew?
a niece.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Girls are the most fun.
Oh gosh, yeah, you should see some of the clothes I have on there. It's like this and this and this. And I'm also getting the things that my sister liked when she was a kid. So
Oh,
it's
that's
like
so nice.
all that
That's
type.
really
Yeah.
cool. That's awesome.
I'm excited, excited, excited. Yeah. So since we're also a TV site, what are you watching on TV these days?
What am I not watching? So I just finished watching The Undoing on HBO. I don't know if you watched that. Interesting enough. I usually watch like a lot of crap television, but more recently, I've been watching a lot of documentaries. I just finished the Reagan documentary. I don't know if you watched that.
That's on my list.
It's really, really good. Again, because I'm 43. I was born in 77. And so Ronald Reagan was my first president that I can remember, right? So it's
Yeah.
really weird and interesting because it's kind of like deja vu, actually. A lot of things that we're going through right now happened in the 80s and the early 80s. So I'm really into, I really liked that documentary because I got a lot of aha moments. What else am I watching? I watched a lot of CNN. Like most Americans right now, but I decided this is the last week and we're turning it off. The electoral vote is today. After this week, I'm turning CNN off. No more CNN. And then I like fun shows. Like I watch Mom. I don't know if you watch that. It's really
I
funny.
love that show.
I love that show. So I watch that show. And I used to watch The Circus on Showtime, but it hasn't been on for a while. But I love that show too. It is political, but it's also very funny and interesting. So I think I'm getting, as I get older, I'm liking more like documentary style things or real true stories. And so I do watch that a lot and to unwind at night.
Nice. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff too. And Unsolved Mysteries, I'm obsessed with, and
Yes.
all that.
There's a new show. It's I forget the name of it, but it's like on Netflix, and basically it follows a gentleman or a guy who basically conned all these women over the course of like 30 years. I haven't watched it, but I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I heard about that one. I heard it's fantastic. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, binge watch, but during the day, because if I watch it at night, I'm like,
yeah, I get freaked out.
Yes,
I can't fall asleep. Yeah. Yeah.
So then I have to put on something funny.
I also love this new show. It's not new, but it's called Shameless. It's this last season. I don't know if you watched that.
Yes, yes.
It's obsessed. So I'm obsessed with that. So it's really good.
Nice. And where can we follow you on social media so everyone can see how great you are?
Yes, of course. Thank you. So you can follow me on Instagram at Joy Altimare. My last name is spelled Altim as in Mary, Are. And that's the same for my Facebook as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate you.
Me too. It's nice to meet you. Take care. Happy holidays.
Likewise. Happy holidays.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.